Build strong emotional intelligence to reach your goals automatically. That's not just the title of this video, it's the promise. Because let's be real, most people hustle, grind, and push themselves, but still wonder why they're not getting the results they want. The missing piece isn't more effort, it's emotional intelligence. Without it, every bit of goal-setting motivation, every attempt at discipline and self-control eventually collapses under pressure. Think about it. How many times have you known exactly what to do, but still didn't do it? You had the plan, the tools, the strategy, but self-sabotage, overthinking, or lack of mental clarity got in the way. That's not laziness. That's poor emotional intelligence. And here's the counterintuitive truth. When you develop emotional intelligence skills, reaching your goals actually feels automatic. You don't fight yourself anymore. You reprogram your mind, reset your life, and align with a success mindset almost on autopilot. So in this video, we're diving into how to build emotional intelligence in a raw, self-help way. Not fluffy theory, but practical steps you can use today. We'll explore how to train your brain, how to stop self-sabotage, and how to use emotional intelligence as your secret weapon for personal growth. If you've ever wondered how to control your mind instead of being controlled by it, stick around, because what you're about to discover may just change your life. Understanding emotional intelligence as the hidden driver of success. Most people think success is about talent, luck, or working harder than everyone else. But the truth is, the real game changer is emotional intelligence. Without strong emotional intelligence, people end up stuck in cycles of self-sabotage, overthinking, and frustration. Emotional intelligence training is like the operating system of the brain. It determines whether you can set goals and achieve them with clarity, or whether your emotions hijack your progress before you even start. When someone begins to develop emotional intelligence, they notice small but powerful shifts. For example, instead of snapping back at criticism, they pause, breathe, and respond with intention. That's not just good behavior, it's brain training in action. They're learning how to control their mind rather than being controlled by it. And the ripple effect? Better self-awareness, sharper discipline and self-control, and a mindset shift that makes personal growth feel natural instead of forced. Here's the kicker. People with emotional intelligence don't waste time wrestling with motivation. They know how to reset their life by reprogramming their mind and rewiring their brain so their success mindset runs on autopilot. This doesn't mean life suddenly becomes perfect, but it does mean they stop wasting energy fighting themselves. And once someone sees that, they realize emotional intelligence skills are the foundation for any real self-improvement. But this is just the beginning. Self-awareness, the first step to reprogram your mind. Strong emotional intelligence starts with one powerful skill, self-awareness. Without it, people walk through life on autopilot, reacting instead of choosing. When someone learns to pause and notice their own thoughts, emotions, and triggers, they suddenly gain leverage over themselves. It's the difference between saying, "I'm angry," and realizing, "I'm feeling anger right now, but I can choose how to respond." That tiny shift is the doorway to personal growth and self-improvement. Take a practical example. Imagine you set a big goal, let's say, starting your own business. Without self-awareness, every obstacle feels like a personal attack, and the voice of self-sabotage gets louder. You're not ready, this is too risky. But when you develop emotional intelligence through self-awareness, you can catch that thought, question it, and reframe it. You train your brain to focus on solutions, not excuses. This is how to stop overthinking and build discipline and self-control that actually last. Now, how do you practice self-awareness? Start simple. Journaling 5 minutes a day about your emotions, or even pausing 3 times a day to ask yourself, what am I feeling right now, and why? This isn't fluff, it's emotional intelligence training that rewires your brain. Over time, your success mindset strengthens, and you begin to notice patterns that were holding you back. And when you start spotting those patterns, you're preparing yourself for the next step. Discipline and self-control, turning emotional intelligence into action. Here's where emotional intelligence really starts paying off: discipline and self-control. People often think willpower is about forcing themselves to do what they hate, But the truth is, when you develop emotional intelligence skills, discipline stops feeling like punishment. It becomes a natural byproduct of self-awareness and mental clarity. You're no longer battling against yourself. You've trained your brain to work with you, not against you. Think of an athlete preparing for a marathon. Without emotional intelligence, they might quit halfway through training because emotions like doubt or boredom take over. But someone who has learned how to control their mind uses those very emotions as signals. Doubt becomes a reminder to reframe their thoughts. Boredom becomes a cue to change their training routine. That's emotional intelligence training in action, reprogramming the mind so setbacks fuel growth instead of stopping progress. For everyday life, discipline can be as simple as sticking to a morning routine, keeping commitments, or saying no to distractions. But with a strong success mindset, it stops being about sheer willpower. It's about designing your environment and habits so they align with your goals. That's how you set goals and achieve them automatically. And once someone experiences that kind of brain training, they start to see that discipline isn't the hard part. It's actually something much deeper. How to stop self-sabotage and rewire your brain. One of the biggest enemies of personal development isn't failure, it's self-sabotage. Most people don't even realize how often they trip themselves up. They procrastinate, overthink, or give up right when they're closest to a breakthrough. But with strong emotional intelligence, self-sabotage stops being a mystery. You begin to see it for what it really is: old mental programming that needs a reset. And once you learn how to rewire your brain, those old patterns lose their power. Here's a practical example. Say someone is trying to lose weight. They stick to a healthy routine for 2 weeks, then suddenly binge late at night. Without emotional intelligence, they'll call themselves weak or lazy, but if they've trained their brain, they'll recognize the trigger, maybe stress or boredom, and choose a healthier response like journaling, calling a friend, or going for a walk. That's how to control your mind instead of letting your mind control you. Reprogramming your mind isn't magic, it's repetition. Every time you catch a sabotaging thought and replace it with a success mindset, you're doing raw self-help work that literally changes your brain's wiring. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you stop fighting yourself and start running on a new operating system. That's the beauty of emotional intelligence skills. Once you start breaking those cycles, something even bigger becomes possible. Creating a success mindset that lasts. When emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and discipline come together, something powerful happens. A success mindset takes root. Unlike short bursts of motivation that fade quickly, this mindset shift becomes your new normal. You no longer rely on hype or willpower. You've trained your brain and rewired your habits so that reaching your goals feels automatic. That's how emotional intelligence turns personal development into a lifestyle, not a temporary phase. Take, for instance, someone building their career. At first, they may struggle with self-doubt, overthinking, or fear of rejection. But once they've gone through consistent emotional intelligence training, they see challenges differently. A failed pitch isn't a personal defeat, it's feedback. A rejection isn't a wall, it's redirection. With this level of mental clarity and emotional strength, they no longer get stuck. Instead, they move faster, smarter, and with more resilience than ever before. And here's the real kicker. This mindset for success doesn't just help you achieve goals, it changes your life entirely. You stop living in reaction and start creating on purpose. You stop waiting for motivation and start building systems that work for you. The discipline and self-control you've built now fuel your dreams instead of draining your energy. And once you've tasted that level of freedom, the only question left is, how far can you really go with it? You've just seen how building strong emotional intelligence can transform everything: your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your results. But here's the thing. Knowledge alone won't change your life. Action will. So let me ask you, are you ready to train your brain, reprogram your mind, and finally stop the cycles of self-sabotage that have been holding you back? Or will you let another week slip by, stuck in overthinking and waiting for the perfect moment? Imagine what happens if you start applying even one of these emotional intelligence skills today. Where could you be a month from now? 6 months? A year? The difference between those who reach their goals and those who don't isn't talent. It's the decision to take ownership of their mindset for success. So, what will you choose? repeating the same patterns, or stepping into the version of yourself that knows how to reset your life and achieve goals automatically. If you're serious about personal growth and want more raw self-help strategies like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll keep learning how to control your mind, build emotional intelligence, and keep moving toward the success you know you're capable of. This is your moment. Don't just watch, take action.